Hey guys, what's up? It's Apple Critics from applecritics.com, and in this video I'm going to be showing you iOS 13 settings that you must change after you watch this video. So all of these settings that I will show you in this video are pretty simple and straightforward, and they will help you improve your battery life and the overall performance of your device on iOS 13. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So what you're going to do is go into settings, and once we go into settings, this is where all the fun begins. Now the first setting is under the phone tab. And this setting is new to iOS 13, and it allows you to silence unknown callers. So the unknown numbers that call to your phone will go straight to voicemail, and you can find that number in your recent calls. So it's pretty simple in that way, but it's definitely useful if you get a lot of telemarketers calling you or just a lot of random numbers calling you. This is the best way to silence the unknown callers. You don't get that whole call notification or anything like that. It just goes straight to voicemail, and you get a notification of a particular number that called your phone. Now, the next settings occurs under the cellular data tab in the iTunes and App Store section. So normally we can have automatic downloads, but it's normally toggled to ask if it's over 200 megabytes. So what we can actually do is tap on that, and then you can say always allow or always ask, or just leave it at ask if it's over 200 megabytes. So this is definitely a new feature that's useful. So you can just always allow app downloads. So you can download a gigabyte app and it will work if you have it to always allow, or it'll just cap you at 200 megabytes. So this is very useful if you're wanting to download one of the latest apps or games. Now you can in iOS 13. And all you have to do is just switch it to over 200 megabytes, and then it will work. Now, going into the cellular section, you're going to see that we now can go into cellular data options right here, and then it'll give us the option to turn on low data mode. And with low data mode, what it allows you to do is actually helps apps consume less data. So this is definitely a genius part of iOS 13. So apps normally consume tons and tons of data, and especially if you're on a capped data plan, the low data mode will come in handy and make sure that you don't go over the limit in your phone bill. Now, under privacy, we do have the location services. And with the location services, you'll see that you have all your apps that you have installed right here. And you're going to notice a new toggle. So if we go into Facebook, for example, we can tap on it. And then once we tap on it, it'll give us the option for location access. So the new toggle here is ask next time. So it will automatically prompt to ask to use your location. Instead of always using it or never using your location, you can just make sure that it always will be toggled to ask next time. So this is actually very useful, and I really like this new feature, and I recommend that you turn it to ask next time for all of these apps, so they're not always using your location and draining your battery. Now, under emergency SOS, you can tap on it. And then if you scroll down, you can set up an emergency contact on your phone. So this is just useful if anything happens. You'll just have an emergency contact, and that is just the main function of the emergency SOS. So that's good that Apple implemented it into the iOS 13 software. Now, the next new feature occurs in the Notes app. So if I say this is a test, normally what we do when we just want to backspace a word, it'll only backspace the letter. So now what we can actually do is make it backspace a whole word. So what we can do is actually go back into settings, and then we can go into general, and then we can go into keyboard, and then we can make sure that delete slide to type by word. So you could have that right there. So you're just going to make sure that delete slide to type, once again, is enabled. So for this to work, you just have to use the slide to type feature. And now once you hit the backspace, you'll see the whole word is gone. You'll see that the whole word will be gone. So I could just hit it again, and now it's gone. So that's a delete slide to type. So you can only do that when you slide to type, but if you type normally, it won't allow you to delete the whole word. So that's what that feature allows you to do. Now, the next feature is why everybody's upgrading to iOS 13. So it's in display and brightness, and you can probably guess what it is. It is the dark mode. So with the dark mode, you can just go to settings, display and brightness, and then you can change it to automatic if you want. So you can see that it'll just be light right now, and then once it hits the sunset time, it'll go back to dark mode. So you can see that you just have the dark mode right here, and it's really, really good and nice on the eyes, and I highly recommend it. And it's just one of the best features of iOS 13. Now what we can do is actually go back, and then we can go into wallpaper, And then you're going to make sure you enable dark appearance dims wallpaper. So that'll make the wallpaper even better and in the dark mode format. You don't want your whole device in dark mode and then just have one part that is in the light mode. It just doesn't make sense. So now you can just change that. Now the next thing that you can do is go into Safari. And once you go into Safari, what you're going to do is go to where it says downloads right here. And then once you tap on downloads, you can just change downloads to on my phone. And you can just make sure that everything that you download using the Safari download manager, whether it be music or different files, it will download directly into your iPhone. And then directly under it says remove download list items. So what you're going to do is just simply tap on it. And it's automatically toggled to after 1 day, but you can change it to upon successful download. And then that's when you can remove it. Or you can change it to manual. So you do have a bunch of options for this function. Now the next feature in Safari is the option to close tabs. So if we take a look at it right here, we can choose to close tabs manually, or we could just have after 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. But I just normally just change it to manually because that's just how I use my phone. Now we can go to general, and then we can go to background app refresh. So now all these apps are always going to be running in the background once you open them. So this is where you're going to drain a lot of battery life and you're going to run up all your cellular data. If you don't already have unlimited data, you'll probably care about that. So where it says background refresh on, what you can do is just change it to Wi-Fi. So that's when the apps will refresh and they'll just be in a pause state until you open them. So you don't always want to have them running in the background. So you just tap right here and then just change it to Wi-Fi. And then your device will be a lot better. Now, once you tap on iTunes and App Store in settings, what you're going to want to do is turn off automatic downloads for music, apps, books, and app updates. So you're just going to make sure everything is turned off. So this just makes the most sense so you don't just automatically keep using your cellular data and Wi-Fi and just draining your battery and slowing down the performance of your device in general. You're just going to make sure that you want to have that off. And then when we scroll further down, what you can do is actually turn off the in-app ratings and reviews if you want. So this is just worth turning off because it just takes up more data when you're trying to download an app over LTE or Wi-Fi, and it just causes the app to load slower once you search for it, so it just makes sense. And then you're going to also want to turn on offload unused apps. So with this, it just automatically removes unused apps, but keeps all the documents and data. So once you reinstall the app, you're actually going to get your data back at the same time. So it's really useful, especially for all the apps that you don't even use. So this is just a genius feature in iOS 13 that nobody is talking about. So I highly recommend turning on offload unused apps. Now, once you go into notifications, what you want to do is change the show previews option. So currently it will show the previews when unlocked, and it will just show all the notification previews when your device is unlocked. So what you can do is just tap on it, then you can change it to never. So it'll never show the previews for the notifications, just in case someone uses the Face ID on your phone, and then you can see all the notifications. So it just makes it look a lot cleaner on the iPhone and more simplistic in that way. Now what we're going to do is go into Safari. And once you go into Safari, what we're going to do is scroll all the way down until we see prevent cross-site tracking. So you're going to make sure you enable that because with prevent cross-site tracking, what it allows you to do is prevents ads from tracking you all around your phone. So maybe once you search up a iPhone case, then you'll see that ad all over the websites that you go to. By enabling prevent cross-site tracking, it will stop following you around with all those ads. So it's just worth turning on. Now the next feature is in accessibility. So once you go to accessibility, what you're going to do is go to voice control. And what you're going to do is turn voice control off because it's always going to be in the background listening to the voice control commands if you trigger the voice control commands. So it just makes sense to turn it off. And it's always going to just be draining the battery and always searching. So it doesn't make sense to have it on. Now the next feature is in books. So once you go to books, what you're going to do is make sure that reading goals are turned on. So this is for all your books, similar to Audible, how there's certain reading goals and statistics that you can know. But what you actually want to do is include PDFs because PDFs won't be included in your reading goals. But now if you turn it on, it will include PDFs and reading goals and not just books. So this is useful to turn on, just in my opinion. Now, last but not least, we do have the control center. So once you go into the control center and we want to customize our controls, what we can do is just make sure that we have the dark mode toggle right here, because with it, what we can do is just swipe right here. And now you're going to see that I have the dark mode toggle right here, so you can turn it on. And now it's back to normal. And then you can turn it back on again. So now it's back to dark mode. So just a very useful toggle in that way. So that's why that toggle is just very useful in the control center. So thanks for watching this video on the iOS 13 controls that you must change. Please be sure to subscribe. Please smash the like button down below so you watch. Also be sure to check out all the videos on my channel. Be sure to check out applecritics.com for these Apple news and more. Like my Facebook fan page at facebook.com/applecritics. Be sure to leave a comment down below so that I know you watched. And also follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/applecritics. And thanks for watching.